Hello there, Professor. First time to Pendleton? It's as close as you can get to Nye County without actually having to step foot in it. You're going to be familiar with our victim, Manuel Molinas.
Drug dealer we just arrested for the murder of Jessica Marnier. He's connected to Beatrice Salazar. What's he doing in a Pendleton jail cell?
A few years back, feds decided they needed a facility to handle their more sensitive prisoner transfers in and out of the southwest United States. Someplace off the radar. Someplace like Pendleton. So they wrote a big check to the town council and upgraded their existing jailhouse in exchange for occasionally taking over the place. Our tax dollars at work.
I thought this building looked a little too metropolitan for a town of 35. Isn't that officer one of ours?
Yes, he is, but Sergeant Lip's been tapped before by the feds to coordinate this kind of transfer. Their plan was to quietly move Molinas out of our lockup and into this undisclosed location, then hold him here until he could be interviewed by a federal prosecutor and formally transferred into federal custody.
Not a bad plan. I wonder what went wrong.
Looks like everything. Okay, I don't need to tell you. This is now priority number one. Molinas' transfer was on a need-to-know basis. The first I heard of it, the sheriff and the deputy director of the FBI had me on the speakerphone, screaming that somebody dropped the ball. So I got my ass out of there and secured the scene.
Is Agent Huntby still missing?
Yes. And based on his apparent effort to sabotage your handling of the DNA evidence in the Salazar case, the FBI strongly suspects he was a mole for Salazar, and now officially considers his disappearance UFAP.
Unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, meaning he's a fugitive, and very likely a suspect in this homicide. Sergeant Lip should consider himself a very lucky man. Whoever broke in here to silence Molinas wouldn't have wanted to leave a living witness. We'll need to get a full statement from him. Looks like a small caliber automatic. A 22, maybe a 25. From what I've observed of the victim's wounds, this could be our murder weapon, but I'm letting myself get ahead of the evidence, aren't I? Let's see what Doc Robbins has to tell us at autopsy. It's blood. It's a fragment of some kind. It looks like it got wedged in the slide. Whatever it is, it's underneath the blood, which means it was there before the blood was. The keys are in the lock. Our shooter might have unlocked it, but he didn't need to open the cell door in order to shoot Molinas. Yellow powder. We'll want to get that back to the lab. The cell was locked during the shooting. We don't know exactly where the shooter was standing as he fired, but that powder might indicate his position. This digital recorder stored all the footage from the security cameras in the station. The hard drive's been crushed. We might be able to put it back together at the lab, but it'll probably take weeks to do that, plus salvage any data on it, and that's if we're lucky. I think we might learn more by just putting the case back together. Certainly be a better use of our time.
Hey.
Sergeant Lip, I'm Ray Langston. My partner and I are with the Las Vegas Crime Lab.
Yeah, great. But please, call me Tim. This is just a spectacular screw-up. Hey, let me know if you find something, okay? Maybe you guys can help save my job.
We'll do our best, Tim. Now, if you don't mind, I'm also a doctor, so I'd like to take a look at your head wound there.
Yeah, okay.
Good news here is you're going to live, but you're going to need stitches. So now that you've given us your statement, Tim, I am not taking no for an answer. We're going to get you to the hospital.
Okay, I understand. Thanks, Doc.
Well done. I believe we have enough evidence here to begin processing at the lab. It's your call. That's the rag Sergeant Lip applied to his head to staunch the bleeding. Since he left it for us, I'm sure Sergeant Lip wouldn't mind if we processed a sample of his DNA. I'll call the coroner to pick up the body. We need to get a reference sample of the ammunition fired by this pistol to compare against the slugs found in the victim. This pistol fires .22 caliber long rifle cartridges. Unfortunately, not a particularly unique type of ammunition. It's a favorite among amateur hunters as well as professional assassins. Pollen of the southwestern wood lily. This flower is native to Nevada, but it's rare. Blood on the gun here is Sergeant Lip's, which means it was definitely used to strike him in the head. Looks like there's a small piece of it missing. You know that shard we found wedged in the gun at the crime scene? I think it just might fit in this gap. Let's try it. Yes, a perfect fit.
Ray, where are we now with Molina's case? I read Sergeant Lipp's statement.
Well, Sergeant Lip isn't telling us the whole truth.
How do you know?
We recovered a gun at the crime scene, and wedged in the slide, we found a broken piece of the unit which records all the surveillance footage. Now, not only was that shard stuck in the gun, but it was also underneath some blood. Blood which turns out to belong to our very own Sergeant Lip. It means that little piece of plastic was in there before Sergeant Lip was struck in the head.
But according to Sergeant Lip, the assailant entered, presented him with ID, and then when the sergeant turned his back, the assailant knocked him out. You'd think he would have noticed the assailant smashing up surveillance equipment before he got knocked out.
You'd think so. You'd also think Sergeant Lip wouldn't turn his back on a guy like that maybe he'd even draw his own weapon. But for some reason, that's not how it went down.
Hello there, it's Doc Robbins down in the morgue. I've finished the autopsy on Manuel Molina's. So whenever you're ready, I'm available to review my findings with you. Nice to see you. How can I help? Anytime.
It's confirmed. The gun from the crime scene is the murder weapon. Both bullets taken from the victim were fired from the same gun. Beatrice Salazar. She spat on Molina's corpse. I wonder if that was a message for him or for us. Catherine, you need to see this.
Is this right? You found Beatrice Salazar's DNA in the cell.
She shot Molina's and spat on his face.
Well, she wasn't about to have him try to testify against her, that's for sure. But why would she risk trying to kill him herself? That doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, she also held him responsible for having to kill her own son.
But even under normal circumstances, this would have been a suicide mission. Not a lot of guys are crazy enough to do something like that. Even the ones that work for her.
I think she's crazy enough now to do just about anything.
Well, that may be true, but maybe she wasn't taking as much of a risk as we think. Sergeant Lip described the assailant as a tall Hispanic male posing as an FBI agent. What do you really think the chances are that Beatrice Salazar has become a master of disguise?
I think we need to be very careful if you're suggesting Sergeant Lip may be involved here. I realize we have evidence that contradicts the sergeant's initial statement, but if we're going to pursue this, then we better make damn sure our evidence is unimpeachable. Keep me in the loop, Ray.
Jim, we've uncovered evidence which substantially contradicts Sergeant Lip's account of the shooting.
What evidence? What are you talking about? The guy was viciously attacked. His skull was almost busted in. I mean, it's not like he's going to have some photographic memory of exactly what happened. The surveillance unit was smashed before Lip was knocked out. Okay, we should clear this up with him. But I won't let it become a fishing expedition. You understand?
What's going on here, Captain?
Just a few follow-up questions, Tim. We just need to document everything for the record.
You see this little piece of plastic? It comes from that unit which records all the... It looks as though the DVR was struck.
I don't know how that could have happened. Wait, couldn't he have hit me more than once, like after I was out?
And that's it. Like I said.
Yeah, thanks.
I only see evidence of a single wound. The bruising on Sergeant Lip's head is a perfect match to the shape of the murder weapon. That little divot there is right where the DVR shard was, and those ovals are consistent with the finger placement of someone holding the gun by the grip. There's something strange about the angle, though. The gun was upside down. To strike someone with a gun while you're holding it by the grip, you're either hitting with the butt, like a hammer, or with the side of the gun like you're swinging a haymaker punch or slapping someone. If Sergeant Lip was struck from behind, like he says he was, then the gun would be right side up. Sergeant Lip did this to himself. Here's the problem, Tim. You see those oval patterns right there?
Yeah, sure, the first time he hit me, but what about after...
There's no physical evidence you were hit more than once, Tim.
You staged your injury, didn't you, Sergeant? You're in Salazar's pocket. And you used your position as duty sergeant to arrange to be alone with Molina's. Then you let Salazar in there. And let's be generous here. Let's just say she's the one who actually pulled the trigger. And then the good little soldier you are, you cleaned up after her, didn't you? You make me sick. And you know what? I hope there's a special place in hell for dirt like you, because I know there's a special place in prison.
It wasn't like that. I mean, look, you gotta understand, I'm in way over my head here.
Tim, it's Gene. Call me back. I don't want you to worry. I got them to a safe place. For now, anyway. Look, I'll be honest. This is all unraveling so fast. I don't know how long I can... Just hang on for one damn minute, will you? Just call me back, okay?
That's not much to go on, I'm afraid, but didn't it sound as if he had words for someone in the background?
Just hang on for one damn minute, will you?
That's not much to go on, I'm afraid, but didn't it sound as if he had words for someone in the background?
Hey, pal, you mind? You're blocking the freight elevator. Hello? Yeah, we're at Gleason's right now, waiting on some jerk to get out of the way so we can take the stuff upstairs.
Gleason's. Why does that sound familiar? You know, when I first moved out here with my whole life in tow, and I wasn't exactly sure how long I was going to stay, a friend of mine suggested a storage facility. And I seem to remember the name being... There it is. Gleason's Family Self-Storage. Owner said a man fitting Agent Huntby's description is using this storage locker. He's renting it under an alias. Huntby's wife and children, this may be useful. These boots look like they've been used recently. These are ripe. Looks like we found the source of that smell. Lysicchiton americanus, the common skunk cabbage. This plant isn't native to the Nevada desert. Huntby must have traveled somewhere outside of Vegas to have stepped on it, and that trip couldn't have been too long ago. Otherwise, the plant wouldn't still be emitting that odor. Wherever Huntby went to get skunk cabbage on his boots, it couldn't have been too far from town. I can only think of one reason for him to get out of town so fast. So we need to talk to someone who knows him well, someone who's familiar with his daily habits, someone who might be able to give us some insight into where he's been.
You guys find my sister? Is she alive?
We got something. Utah Highway Patrol just stopped and searched an SUV registered to a Salazar associate. 4 men inside the vehicle. All were taken into custody without incident.
Well, do we know if they were coming or going?
I'm not exactly sure. The men haven't been booked yet, and the officers haven't filed their reports.
What about the search for Huntby's wife and children?
Utah State Police tell me that the sheriff in Burl hasn't found them yet. Hang on. This could be the sheriff now. Brass. Whoa. Slow down, Doc. Are you sure? Okay, then. I'll send them right over.
We found Huntby. Great. Is he saying where his wife and children are hiding?
He's not saying anything. He's dead. Apparently someone broke into the coroner's office and left him just lying there in the hall outside the morgue.
My God. It looks like hundreds, maybe thousands of bee stings. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of being 2 steps behind Beatrice Salazar. Assuming she's responsible for this. There's got to be something here that will lead us directly to her. Let's find it. We may need this for comparison later. Looks like a serial number. We'll see if Brass can have it traced. Looks like a fresh transfer of some kind. Maybe paint.
Okay, let's run it. Looks like your card is made for the Select Stop Corporation. That's that new chain of big box hardware stores in the area. Sure.
Looks like auto paint. Maybe Brass can tell us more about what kind.
Sure. The color and composition of that auto paint is specific to the Zeus XT. I'd say it's pretty likely whoever stole that card probably stole it at the same time they stole Robbins' Zeus XT from the Select Stop parking lot. Poor guy, he's not going to get his car back, so I'm going to have it picked up and taken over to the garage. Sure.
The paint's scratched. That must be where the transfer on the card came from. Looks like blood. Aha! Look at that. That fingerprint could belong to Dr. Robbins or his wife. We'll have to run it. I'm comfortable clearing Robbins' vehicle for now. Good work. Say hello to your suspect, Doc Robbins.
Man, I wish I could be there with you guys when you slap the cuffs on this idiot.
That confirms that Huntby's body was definitely in your truck, Doc.
Oh, great. Judy'll be thrilled. I hope she doesn't make me sell it.
Your wife does know what you do for a living, right?
So let me get this straight. This Gamos guy steals my car from the Select Stop parking lot, picks up Huntby's body, drives it to the morgue, waits until he sees me leave, then accesses the morgue's employee lot with my new car. Then he dumps the body in the hallway.
He also put a nasty scratch on your car with the flatbed cart he stole.
I've had enough. Beatrice Salazar better pray there isn't a scrap of evidence on Huntby's body, because if there is, I'm going to find it.
May we join you, Doctor?
Please do. Thanks again for clearing the way to the morgue so quickly.
Smells almost fragrant. We should analyze it. Looks like honey. Another Queen in the Hive reference, maybe. So Huntby is stung to death by bees and his stomach is filled with honey. And we found pollen from a rare species of flower near Manuel Molines. There have been studies that prove that honey and the pollen it synthesized from share genetic markers. I'd be interested to see if the genetic composition of the honey we found in Huntby's stomach happens to resemble that of the pollen we found near Molines. There can't be a lot of honey farms that have this type of rare flower growing nearby. Not in Nevada, anyway. We need to talk to Brass. We found honey synthesized by the southwestern wood lily in Huntby's stomach. Jim, this flower is extremely rare. It only grows in a few places in Nevada, and only one is remotely close to Vegas. If there's more than one apiary there, I'd be very surprised.
A honey farm, huh? Let's find out. I got a hit, Ray. You were right. It's the only apiary around. Nice work, guys. Let's roll. Got it. I'll let them know. Thanks. Well, I got good news and bad news.
Good news first, please.
I just got a call from the sheriff in Burl, Utah. They found Huntby's wife and kids safe and sound. Salazar's men hadn't gotten there before the Stadies arrested them.
That is a relief.
The bad news. Nick says that none of the bodies we've hauled out of here to the morgue are a match for Salazar. But Robbins did ID his car thief, Mr. Manuel Gamos.
So Salazar escaped.
It's impossible, Ray. We had choppers in the sky with infrared. We established a secure perimeter around the place. Now either she's dead and buried somewhere underneath all this rubble, or... I don't know.
If she's left any trace of her whereabouts, we'll find it, Jim.
All right, I'm going to stick around just in case. Let me know if you need anything.
Good job. This chair might be where Agent Huntby was tied while being stung to death. That's strange. Lots of crushed honeybees next to those which are still completely intact. Did you know the honeybee is over 50% crude protein? Instead of blood, they have something called hemolymph, which should still be detectable in the same way we confirm the presence of blood. You see that? The LCV is revealing footsteps tracked through the insect's hemolymph. Let's check out where they lead. Here, let me help you with that.
Shh. We need to get this open right now. This could be a tunnel out of here, a bomb shelter, an ammo cache. We don't know. We don't have time to get the guys in here to blow this thing, so get it open. Now.
I'd rather we didn't guess. We might give whoever's inside a warning. Or worse, we might set off another explosion. There must be some way to figure out which numbers on the pad have been pressed. 2, 5, 8, and 9. Okay, now that we know the numbers, all we need is the right sequence. 2, 5, 8, 9. Those numbers are familiar. I've seen them somewhere recently. They've got something to do with Salazar, I just can't remember what. Hold on, that's it. 9582. September 5th, 1982, the day she killed her husband, is the sequence to the combination on the keypad.
Freeze! Okay, here's the situation. I'm mobilizing a security detail that will be ready any second. I'll give you the last word with Salazar before we go, but make it quick. Then we're getting the hell out of here, and the first round's on me. All right?
You. I know you. Where's your lady friend with a smart mouth? I'm still going to kill you. You know that, don't you? You are so very naive. Hasn't anyone ever told you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? And there will never be anyone as strong as I am. I didn't kill my son. You killed him when you exposed him.
No, Miss Salazar. Your son was looking for his long-lost mother, and when he found you, you took his life away, squeezed it out of him with your own hands.
You will never understand the cruelty of mercy. I spared my son this life. Why, do you really think you'll live that long?
We'll risk it. It's just part of our job.
Are you sure about that, my dear? I own politicians, judges, DAs. Everyone has a price, and I own them all. I do not think you fully appreciate the height to which I have risen. Your reach exceeds your grasp. You will never touch me. This is not the end. You shall see me again. Not in any jail, cell, or courtroom. No. And when you do see me again, you will beg for your life. And what do you think I shall say to you then? Huh? What do you think I shall say when you beg me for your life? Because you will beg.
Well, thanks to you two, the LVPD is being hailed as the hero for the most successful interruption of illegal drug trafficking since the assassination of Pablo Escobar. Eckley's holding a press conference as we speak.
I'm just glad Beatrice Salazar is in custody.
This Queen of the Hive business has been a rough ride, but you managed to hang on. Believe me, this is going to look pretty good on your quarterly performance review. Hang on, I should take this. Willows. What? Oh my God, when? All right, let me know if you find out anything else.
Something wrong?
Yeah. A prisoner transport was just ambushed en route to the county lockup. She's gone. Salazar's escaped.